Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundup. This is episode one of Inside All Age with a special guest, Eric Bechter, the director of Rogue Tall Regiment. A little bit about Rogue Tall Regiment. They were formed in 2015. They joined Soundsport in 2019. They were the best in show. In 2021 and 2023, they were DCA Class A champion. Also in 2024, they were the open class DCI third. And also in 2023, Eric won Best Director in DCA. All right, Eric, welcome. First of all, I'd like to welcome to the podcast, Eric, and greetings, Eric.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So you were part of the founders with the Rogue Tall Regiment, correct?
Oh yes, yes. I'm the founding director. A little history. I'm lucky enough to be able to do this with one of my best friends. He's our assistant director. His name's Steve Pfeiffer. Him and I worked together as high school directors and turned this into an opportunity for us. So, that's how that started. Um, where we taught ended up. There was a little controversy with some trophies getting thrown away and some things like that. And some of the past students wanted to start an alumni group. So, I decided to help with that. And from there, some of those students just wanted some more. And that was the opportunity to start Rogues Hollow Regiment. Um, I saw it. I took it. I grabbed some of those people. We went out with, I think, 14 members our first show. And from there, it's like you explained. So that's how that started. And yeah, it's pretty much fun. So,
That's really cool. So how did you become involved in the marching arts? Where did the inspiration come from?
well, I live in Northeast Ohio, so the Bluecoats is right in my backyard. So, growing up, our high school would always go to the DCI shows, and we would, we're supposed to be rooting for Bluecoats. They're a home show, but Blue Devils always came to town when I was younger, and they were so amazing. And you only got to see them one time, and it was so special. So like, that was kind of my introduction. So I had the Bluecoats that were growing and becoming what they are today. When I was young, they were still growing and becoming the phenomenal corps they are now. So that was neat to be able to see. But then I had the Bluecoats coming, or the Blue Devils coming in, and they just knocked your socks off. So that was pretty fun. And that was one of my biggest influences. But then, I got to experience marching with the Empire Statesmen. They were a DCA all age group. That was that was my introduction to what I'm actually doing, directing an all age corps. The experience that I had there pretty much dictates a lot of the things that I do now. Um, the way I run my corps, some of our philosophies. I have a lot of staff members that have marched that corps, so that's a lot of my influence right there. I was also a member of the University of Akron marching band for 4 years. So I have a lot of marching experience too. Uh, hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how long were you a member of the Empire Statesmen?
Well, I only marched with them for 1 year, um, but that year was pretty awesome. We got to tour Europe, so I got to see how they put together a international tour. So that was, kind of a learning experience, and then, as a performer, to see how that experience was, and what you should and shouldn't do, and how to deal with different situations and how they dealt with situations. It was pretty cool.
That's really cool. So, how do you, as the director, take what you have learned through all your years of marching and transition that into what you do with Rogue Tall Regiment?
Well, first and foremost, you're only as good as the people around you. So I learned really quick that if I surround myself with good people, good things will happen. So most of the things that happen on the field and off the field are a result of the people that I brought into the organization or have came into our organization and stayed for a long time. Um, for example, Steve, he does all of our business. Our tour manager handles all those things. Our brass arranger, he started with us when he was probably 19 years old. He took the opportunity, and now he's still writing our brass books, and he's won brass titles. So that's pretty exciting. Same with our brass caption head. He teaches our brass line, and he's been with us for has to be 8 years. So things like that. That's what I learned is when I get those people around me, keep them around me, and use them to grow the organization because it's something that you can't do yourself. So
That
that's the
sounds
main thing
awesome.
I took.
What was that?
I said that's the main thing I took from everywhere I marched and everything I did, the successful groups and the unsuccessful groups. The
Okay,
ones that spread that wealth was the ones that were successful.
that's incredible. So, how has Rogue Color Regiment? I get it. I see they formed in 2015. So from 2015 to 2019, before you joined Soundsport, what was the process of like jo- creating creating Rogue Color Regiment and where they are today?
Oh, okay. Well, we're self-funded, so it's not like any of us are millionaires and have a lot of money. So the first thing was, how do we get money? So we had to start fundraising and just doing things. And like I said, we started with like 14 people. So the second year, I think we went up to like 20 or 25-ish, somewhere in there. And from there, we just kind of figured out what we're going to do for instruments and how we're going to form our board of directors and how we're going to start doing things to move forward to become a competitive drum corps. There was this organization called SDCA, Small Drum Corps of America. And at the time, our region was doing really well. So they were able to help us out with getting us um, playing opportunities that would pay us so we could go do parades and standstills. So when we were a little bit of a smaller group, we would go there, and we also used the Sound Sport. DCI Sound Sport was new at that time. So it was kind of nice to use that platform, and we were able to do a couple DCI shows and then also go at that time to Indianapolis and perform for the Sound Sport. So that's kind of what we were doing to grow the corps. We did a lot of community stuff, a lot of parades, things like that, just to grow interest. It wasn't until we went into DCA that we actually put on a full field show. Everything else was all for either sound sport or, just entertainment purposes at fairs or, festivals.
Oh, that's cool. How long have you been participating in Soundsport? Was it just 2019 year, or were you doing that before?
I think we did that. I think we went there in 17. No, our first year was 15. We went to Sound Sport in 15, 16, and then, yeah, we started in 15.
Okay, so based on membership, what were your numbers compared to what they are today when you first started out?
Oh, well, they're way more. We're up over 80 members, and we started out with 14. We had right before COVID, we had a big growth, and we kind of got shut down, just as every corps did. And it was kind of crazy because we had to start everything pretty much from square one again. We had some core members that really held us through then, And, if it wasn't for them, we might not even have made it through that.
Oh wow.
So so we kind of got to look at, we was going to be close to 100 members when we shut down for COVID. And then we came back with around 70, 65.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then
so then,
from that 65, you grew up to 80 as you
yeah,
this year,
yeah, where we're
or is
at
it more
now,
than
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think we might have been 83, somewhere in there. I'm not the numbers guy,
Okay.
but it's somewhere right in there.
Okay. So with this year going into DCI All Age, have you guys noticed a big uptick in interest since the close of the season?
Yeah. Yeah, we have. It's a it was a good experience. It's a better At Rogues Hollow, we really pride ourselves on our members' experience. So where we take them, who we have them perform in front of, is all part of our philosophy. So when we had the opportunity to go from having our finals at Rochester to having our finals at Lucas Oil, I mean that was super exciting, and it was a selling point for our membership. So at this point, our membership did grow. We went from, I think it was below 65, so mid 60s, low 60s to 80 something. Just on
Okay.
the Yeah, from 20, that would be what, from 23 to 24.
Wow, that's quite a decent growth then. That's awesome.
Yeah, we went from class A, which, and then we went to open class this year, and that we had numbers to do that, not by choice.
Can you explain the different classes and what, if you know what the numbers are for each class?
I don't know the exact numbers. They're subject to change.
Okay.
We can leave it at that. But there are 3 classes at the moment. It's Class A, and I think that's up to 65. I think. Don't mark me on that. And
Okay.
then open class, I think, is to 85 or 86, and then world class is up to their max number, I
Okay.
believe. But
Okay.
and again, that it's changed, and it'll change again and change again. That's up to all of our voting members. It's really cool how this transition went.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear
DCI.
that coming
Oh
up
yeah,
in the
sure, sure.
as we jump in more. So can you explain to me what the goals and mission of Royal College Regiment are?
Our first and foremost goal is to entertain as many people as possible. Um, that's our main goal. We want to entertain. We pick music that is high energy music. We try to match it with, you know, entertaining drill, and try to bring joy and entertainment through music. That's kind of our main mission. We want to entertain as many people as possible. So with that being said, we want to put our members in front of as many people as possible. So that helps dictate the shows we choose to do, the different things that we choose to do. So um,
So moving into the DCI DCA merger, how did that come about, and what was the process of? Yes, we had a press release last year or 2 years ago, but what went on behind closed doors? If you can explain how that process went.
well, I can only talk from my perspective, from my drum corps end. One thing that's real special about the way this is all of our drum corps are ran separately. What one drum corps does is not what my drum corps does. So when we go into the room, all of our drum corps are represented. So I can give you my view of how that went, and things like that. Um, for us at Rogues Hollow, it went real smooth. Had already done the sound sport process, so we were already familiar with the rules and regulations of DCI, and all the things that we have to do to provide a good member experience. Um, we were familiar with that, and a lot of the other corps that were all age were doing that too. I don't want to say a lot; there were a handful that were already on board with that process. So that was real smooth for us. So behind closed doors, there was a lot of talk about how these policies had to go and how things had to move forward with the all age going under the DCI name, because DCI does have a standard that has to be met for member safety and just quality of membership experience. So that was talked about a lot behind closed doors. Um, and all the drum corps were in agreement that membership safety is number one. So that was a really positive thing for all of our drum corps. Not that DCA wasn't doing that, but DCI kind of put that first and foremost. So that was positive there. Um, and then a lot of the talk is how we're going to transition into a shorter season. Where all of our drum corps were used to finishing on Labor Day weekend. So our seasons were shorter. So we had to plan everything differently. How all of our logistics and everything had to end sooner. There really wasn't much. I don't want to say there wasn't much negative. The on our end there was no worries. There was no nothing. DCI was very informative to us. Um, we still have our own drum corps input. So any rules or anything that happens, all of the directors have input on that, and we have a vote. So it's not like we just said here, DCI, run our drum corps. That's not how it is. So I thought it went really smooth, really well. Um, and it from most of the people I would say all the people I talked to, they all agree that this was really good and went real smooth. Uh, we're also talking about what we're going to do with finals. Are we going to have a semifinals? So that's all up in the air. So there's a lot of excitement there. I can't wait for the results of that. And again, that'll be voted on by, all the different drum corps. So, I myself don't even know the answer of that. But I can't wait for that. Hopefully, we do get to do a prelims or something along those lines. Um, Really, that's all behind the scenes. DCI was amazing to work with. Any questions, any problems, they were there to help us. And I think it's going to help the growth of all age drum corps. And I mean, I would just say weekend drum corps if we don't even want to use that all age tag. I think that it'll help the whole drum corps activity in general.
That's really cool. And honestly, from my end, I never marched drum corps, so the reason why I want to start this podcast is because I just had questions that I want to ask and I want to know more about all age, and I really haven't heard much about I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I was near the Reading Buccaneers, but I never marched. So this is really cool because this is giving me information that we can definitely use and learn, and it's really cool.
Yeah, well, Reading Buccaneers, they're amazing. What a great drum corps to live by. Um, but yeah, the all age is going to be growing. I would say don't hesitate to check that out as an opportunity to get a drum corps experience. Most of them are set up a lot like your I will call them underage corps. Um, just with a smaller tour. You don't have to live with your drum corps. You just go on the weekends. It's a really nice thing. I I hope more people get exposed to it and learn what it is.
Yeah, um, y- it's awesome because you can already see that with the evaluation portal, we have three more groups joining all age this year, which is really cool. I'm sure you know about that, but I think it just shows how much more better for the all age community this whole partnership with DCI has been, and I think that's just incredible.
Yes, it's great seeing the growth. It's great seeing those cores come through the sound sport process. and knowing that they have everything in line coming up to the all age division, it's super exciting. Um, if we have that growth again, I mean, how exciting!
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how these newer groups coming into All Age Child, all that's gonna all work out, like with classing, with sizes. Like I've been watching like a lot of Northern Lights, and just seeing their growth over the last 2 years has just been incredible.
Yeah, yeah, they put on a good show at Soundsport too. So good luck to them. Hopefully it works out real well.
So before we get too far, what was your championship experience like? What were the challenges, if there were any, and how was it different than Rochester?
Well, there really wasn't too many challenges other than it was kind of early in the morning, so you had to plan everything early, which was not that big of a deal. It's just all in the logistics. It went real smooth. It was kind of weird being inside. That was the first time any of our groups had played inside there. I think maybe Cincinnati Tradition might have played in there before, but I don't think any of the other groups have ever played in there. So it was kind of neat. We went in and did a sound check. So that was kind of fun. We did that on Friday, and then on Saturday at championships, everything went super smooth. I was fortunate enough to get up and watch my core from an upper level, which was amazing. That's something that was rough to do at Rochester. Um, we had a wonderful experience. There, there were more people than we expected. There was a lot more people that bought tickets, and there were a lot more people in the seats than were at Rochester. So that was super exciting to see. It was a great experience. Um, Not only for me, but for my members. I caught my members looking at themselves on the Jumbotron and things like that because, we're not used to that experience. Things like that don't really come around our way until we do something like Lucas Oil Stadium. So it was super exciting, super fun. Um, there was logistically not everything was laid out very well. So it ran really smooth. I hope everything else goes that smooth in the future.
That is really, really cool to hear and really positive to hear because, like, even after the close, I've just seen so many comments on Facebook, well, oh, DCI was involved, DCI this, DCI that. But hearing it from the director of a corps that went through this process of working with DCI, I think it just shows how well planned out this was from DCI and all the directors, and that this is going to be a change that's going to be very positive for all age and weekend drum corps. And I'm just excited to see where this year goes in 2025 as we get ready for different audition camps and so forth. I can't wait to watch you guys on Flow this year and be able to get to a local show here in Pennsylvania to get to see some of the all age corps. So I'm really excited for it. I know a lot of people are really excited to see where this goes.
Well, yeah, now that they have these blended shows where there's all age, there's open class, there's world class, all at the same show, they're super exciting shows. Hopefully you can check out one of those. You can maybe see the Blue Coats, us, and, Spartans, somebody great like that. So all on the same bill. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's incredible for me as a fan. Like I really wasn't able to watch much all age before this year because of just having the different streaming services and not being able to see many shows. So this is really exciting for me as a fan.
Yeah, all age was really kind of on the East Coast. There were a couple cores that expand west. There's three cores in Ohio. Um, but it's kind of limited by opening up this DCI. It opens us up. Like our core traveled to Whitewater, Wisconsin this year, just for the experience of performing in the first DCI final stadium. Um, so it opened up that opportunity. And hopefully that does with the other groups from, out west to come east, and at least make it to Indy. So super exciting. Hopefully it works for them too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What is the role of a core director?
Well, that's going to be different for every organization. Um, my role, my role is just to make sure that the core and the staff is going in the direction that I feel is best to go. Um, I make sure that the policies and stuff are all in place. I don't write the policies. I have people that do that. It's more or less I'm an administrator. I kind of just make sure that things are getting done, make sure that, the right people are in the right places to be successful. Make sure that my teaching staff is all teaching on the way that I feel is best for them to be taught. Making sure that the music's being chosen that is in the best interest that I feel for the drum corps to move forward. We're trying to build an identity on more of, rock and jazz music. So if a design team wants to come out with classical music, I would make a decision of no. We're going to stick with it, right? So just kind of things like that is my main role. And again, that's different for everybody. Um, I find myself wearing a lot of hats. This needs fixed, so I'm ended up working on buses or fixing a cart or driving buses, pulling trailers. All of that fun stuff kind of falls on your plate too, because like we are self-funded. So, the staff I do have, I need them teaching our our members. So a lot of the stuff you don't want to do falls on the director's plate too. So, but that's what makes it fun. Um, that's kind of really what my role is. It's just kind of making sure that everything overall is running smooth.
That's really cool. So, how have things for you as a director changed with this DCA DCI merger?
Um, it changed how fast we have to have things done and how we have to do things in the winter. Um, how much more support staff that I'm going to have to get these things done that fast. That's really the main thing that we got out of that from this year. Um, and then we want to do a couple more earlier performances probably too, just to help our younger members get over some performance anxiety a little sooner and things. So that's probably what I learned.
Oh, okay, very cool. Can you explain? I watched your show, but I know it's about this rock star. Can you explain more about the 2024 show?
Sure. Our 2024 production 27. What it is a play on the 27 Club. The 27 Club is a legend of all of these famous rock stars that died at the age of 27. Some of them include like Jimi Hendrix, um, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain. That's just a few. And the legend is that they sold their soul and they ended up having to die at the age of 27 to become a rock star. So our play was we had our character Justin. If you watch our show, he's our guitar player. He's also a trumpet soloist. He's also a dance soloist. So he really transforms into a rock star during our show. But on his 27th birthday, unfortunately, joins the 27 Club. And then we tribute to him at the end. And, our show is just more or less the journey of our rock star, Justin. and how he became a rock star and joined the 27 Club.
Oh, that's interesting. I always love to when different corps post about more going in depth of their shows. So that was very interesting to hear. So what are your plans for 2025 moving forward? With going into year two of this partnership.
Well, we're looking forward to growth. Um, as far as going into DCI, I hope all of the other directors are, feeling as positive as we are at Rogues Hollow about it, and we're going to continue that partnership forward. Um, because this was a 2-year trial period, and this is going into the second year of that trial period. So, hopefully everybody, when we have our annual votes, say that this is what they want to do, and we move forward doing that. Um, our goal has always been to be a world-class champion. So, we'll be moving forward to do that, hopefully. Um, that's our goals for 2025. It's our 10th anniversary as a drum corps. So we're excited about that. We have a lot of cool things in works and plans. Um, we should have our show release here in a couple months. So look forward to that.
What do you want people that are considering joining All Age to know and to really focus on All Age?
Don't be afraid to come out. See what it's all about. And every organization is different. So if you had an experience at one organization, it might be completely different at another organization. So, don't sell one organization short. I would also say that if all age drum corps, at least at Rogues Hollow, if it's something that you want to do, you have to be willing to work at home, because we don't tour. We do expect our members to practice at home. So it is kind of a responsibility, and the product that we put out is just as I don't want to say as demanding, but as far as perfection wise and how well they perform it and how well it's done is just as high as any of the other groups out there. So, you know, it that's what we strive and push for.
That's cool. Like I said, I got to go to my first All Age show this year, and I knew these groups were good, but from just competing and rehearsing on weekends, it blows my mind at how well these shows are put together in such a short amount of time. I just think it's really incredible.
Well, thank you. It is incredible. It and again, that's all on the work on the members and how much they put in. We have a philosophy at Rogues Hollow that, we try to turn everybody into rock stars. And to be a rock star, you have to know your stuff so well that you can do it under any circumstances in front of any audience. So, our goal is to build rock stars, and, it's same principle, kind
Okay,
of fun.
very cool. So for people considering joining, if say when I put people are considering going into All Age and joining Rogue Tall, what are some important dates that people should know about if they want to get involved in Rogue Tall for the 2025 season?
Well, I would just say go online and look at whatever core that you're interested in, including Rogues Hollow. And when those dates are available, they'll be posted online. You would want to go to a winter camp just to get involvement. The sooner you get there, the quicker you're going to be able to get music, to get information, just to become part of the organization. Um, all of the organizations are different on their cutoff dates of when they'll take members, and they're all different with their audition process. I know how Rogues Hollow works with the audition process. It's pretty, I don't want to say it's laxed because, we have expectations that need to be met, but our staff is is very good at teaching what you need to know to meet those expectations. So usually it works out for most people that walk in our doors. Um, and again, that's different for everywhere you go. I would just say make sure that you check the audition dates and go a little early, check out what you're doing, and have fun.
How big of a group are you planning to have for the 2025 season?
Um, that's going to dictate by how many people come through our doors in our recruitment campaign. If I don't know, we would move up to world class. I would say if we had 100 members. If we don't have 100 members, I don't know if I could comfortably make that move. So that's kind of where I would be. I'm shooting for 100 members or more, but that's kind of what our overall goal is.
Oh, very cool. So any last or closing thoughts that you want people to know about Roll Tall or the 2025 season or just DCI All Age in general?
Well, I'll start with DCI All Age in general. It is a great experience for anybody that wants to do drum corps. Whether you want to do more competitive or even a little less competitive show, those are all available in all age, and you can still work your 9 to 5 job all week and do your awesome drum corps stuff on the weekends. It's a super exciting experience, and I think that a lot of people, when they learn about it, can benefit from it. At Rogues Hollow, one thing I can say about us is our family atmosphere. We pride ourselves on our membership experience and providing a family atmosphere for anybody that walks in the door. We're always looking for people in all sections. Just go to our website and fill out our join form, and one of our caption heads will get back to you. For our 2025 season, this is our 10th anniversary. So like I said, we have a lot of great things planned moving forward. A bunch of different performances. Um, don't be afraid to come out. The first step is getting through the door. Once you get there, you'll realize that this isn't quite as hard as you thought. All you got to do is put in a little effort, and things will usually go your way. So I would just say my final thought would be, if it's something that you want to do, um, all age drum corps is for everybody, not just older people. Our average age this year, I believe, was 20 years old. We had 20% of our corps was under the age of 18. There was another 20% of our corps that was under the age of 21, I think. And then the rest of the corps was 21 to, I think our oldest member was 46, 47. So all those ranges in between. Um, don't hesitate to come out. It's a great time. First step's just getting through the door.
That's really cool. So moving forward with DCI, like what are the next steps to find out like what when the how the championship's going to work out, and then also anything else that could be changing um this coming season.
Well, all that stuff takes place in January. All the directors meet. We all go to Indianapolis, and we talk all this stuff over. And everybody, pleads their case of what's best for their drum corps. And, we take votes and we move forward from there. Some things to look forward to, I would say, would, just the process of how drum corps are coming from Sound Sport into DCI All Age. That's a great growth opportunity for a lot of groups and for the DCI All Age.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for coming on to this episode of Inside All Age and the Roundup. If you'd like, I'd like to have you on in the future, maybe to talk about the January meetings if we can. If you're up to that.
Sure, sure. January meetings, they're always exciting. Um, and again, just so everyone knows that whenever any of these decisions that happen isn't a decision that a big body is making. It isn't like DCI makes these decisions. DCI all age directors are all having discussions to make these things happen. And that happens with the open class in DCI and the world class in DCI. The directors of the corps make the rules. They make, the things happen. So whenever people are like, oh, DCI, no, DCI ain't doing that. It's the directors that are making those decisions. So that's why January is super exciting, because all those directors get to meet and talk and share ideas and come up with wonderful solutions to things. So
So the stuff talked about in January, is, um, that greatly affects the 2025 season, correct?
yes, yes, that will. That's where any rules that will change or anything like that would get discussed and put into place, and we would all start discussing things for the following season, to start thinking about and stuff like that.
That's really cool. All right. Thank you so much, Eric. And this was a great conversation. Any closing thoughts?
No, good luck to anybody that wants to do the marching arts. I know that all groups are looking for people, including your winter groups. Check those out. I know in our area, there's a lot of great winter programs. Check those out to get experience. Come check out Rogues Hollow this summer. Hopefully we see you soon. Hello.
Sorry about that. I had a little malfunction. So I'm going to close this, but please do not, um, and